Hi there. If you are in the process of planning or creating a certification, but you haven't worked out what legal documents and essential legal protection you need to get in place first, then this video is for you. So in this video, we're going to look at three crucial areas. The first one is getting your house in order. Now, the reason that this is important is if you are creating a certification over here and when people meet the required standard, you're going to license them, that's the technical term, you're going to allow them to use the name of your signature program or system or process, and also likely materials and resources. You need to make sure that when you are giving your clients, your existing clients, or clients signing up to your products and services, access to those ideas, you're making sure that you have really strong boundaries in place about what they can and can't do with all of those things. I have witnessed so many of my business mentors and coaches who already have certifications in place go through a really frustrating and difficult time with clients that sign up, especially for their lower ticket programs, group programs and that sort of thing, digital products maybe, and taking those ideas and basically just rehashing them and using them in their own business and monetizing them in their own business. And the problem is this: whilst you can put formal IP protection in place, and we'll talk about that in a minute, for the name in your business and for actual copy that you use in your business, it's much harder to protect the ideas behind the name, your systems and your processes and your way of doing things. The best way to protect that, and really the only way to protect that, is to make sure in the terms and conditions and contracts for those products and services that you have a really strong IP clause in place, which puts you in the best possible position to stop people from rehashing your ideas and monetizing them. So getting your house in order is a really important part of laying the foundation for your certification. The next point is intellectual property and formal IP, intellectual property protection, for the assets that you are going to share with people who meet the standards of your certification, who qualify in your certification. So in particular, you need to make sure that you are using a name, wherever possible, you are using a name that is a registered trademark, because then you have ring-fenced that name, you've got really kind of solid legal protection in place for it, which means that you can license people to use that name and feel confident about granting that license. The next thing you need to do is make sure that you are protecting the copyright that you have in the copy, the diagrams, the Google Sheets that you have created, that you are going to want to, again, license people to use in your certification. So the way you do that is to use a copyright notice on all of those things, and again, in your terms and conditions and in your contracts for your products and services, making it clear that you own the copyright and putting parameters, putting boundaries around how people can use those materials and resources. So we move on now to your contract for the people who are signing up for your certification. Now, this is, the absolutely crucial legal document to get right. You are giving people access to key assets in your business that you have put a lot of time and effort into creating. And we need to make sure that when they are having access to those assets, that you are able to manage it all and keep control of it all. Otherwise, it's going to damage your brand and your business and your reputation, and we really can't have that. So you need to have a comprehensive contract in place that people sign, and that's going to cover a number of important areas. So you've got the training aspect. So one of the things that contract needs to do is to let people know what kind of training, what the training looks like when they sign up to qualify in your certification. So what does the training look like? What do they get? The next thing is you're going to have to be really clear about what they need to do in order to qualify and to reach the required standard. Now that might look like a number of different things. So it might be that they have to have a certain number of hours of attendance of the sessions, or it might be that they have to complete certain exercises. They might have to submit case studies, for example. There may be a written test, there may be an oral test. There could be all sorts of things. So you need to make that really clear. Then we have the license section of the agreement. So that is letting people know exactly what they will have the right to use, but also putting limits and boundaries around how they can use those things. Maybe they're just limited to a certain geographical area. Maybe they're limited as to the amount of time, how long they can use those things for. And as part of that, you want to have some very clear guidelines around what they're not allowed to do, so that if they breach those guidelines, if they breach those obligations in any way, that you have the right to terminate that license. That is absolutely crucial. Oh, and of course, what they're going to pay you. So the fee that they are going to pay you to cover up the training, and also the license to use the name and all of the materials and resources. Now it might be that you have an amount they pay to cover the training and the first year's license, and then maybe there is an annual license fee thereafter. The annual license fee could be nominal, or it could be, a chunkier amount. There are all sorts of different things you need to do, but you definitely need to set that out clearly in the contract. Those are the things that I wanted to cover in this video. It's really important that you get these things in place as soon as you can as you're planning your certification. I have lots of conversations with clients who are already really quite far along the journey and the process of pulling together their certification, and they haven't fleshed out these really important things like the boundaries around the license, like how the license fee will work exactly, or how people will demonstrate they've reached the required standard. You need to get this in place because it's likely that you're going to want to have your certification accredited in some way. It may be a CPD accreditation, for example. There are lots of different types of accreditation you could get. And you're going to need to make sure that it's up to scratch and that you're meeting the QA, the quality assurance standards of that accrediting body. So it's a very important part of that journey. I hope that this has been useful for you. I'm really excited if you are on that path to creating a certification. I think it's a great extra layer for your business. And if you'd like to talk to me further about that, then just get in touch. I love having conversations around this subject. See you soon.